Okay, everyone, we have finally finished book 3 of the Renegade series, Supernova, so you know what that means. Time for a review. If you guys missed all my other reviews for the other books in this series, I have a whole playlist that I will link in the cards so you guys can go back, rewatch those videos, and just get my general thoughts on the other books in the series. As always, video is going to be broken down into a few different sections. First section, summary of the story. Second section, what I think worked with the story. Third section, what I think didn't work. And final section, my overall thoughts on the book and my final rating. With all that out of the way, let's get started. Renegades closing in on Nova. Nova has to put the final stages of her rescue plan into effect before the Renegades figure out what she's doing and who she really is. But as she's putting the final steps of her plan into place, things get complicated. As Nova is finally on the verge of helping Ace gain his final victory, she learns some shocking truths that finally push her over the edge to help the Renegades. Jumping into the prose section of the book and what I think really worked. First thing I think that really worked was the amount of foreshadowing that this book had, particularly for the ending of the book. There are several things that are brought up, mostly in book 2, that come and pay off in this book, and mainly it is Nova's whole dream with Star. Again, for spoiler reasons, I'm not going to get into any of that. A lot of that stuff comes back into this book and really helps the ending, and I really enjoyed a lot of the foreshadowing that Marissa Meyer put into the ending of this book. Another thing I really enjoyed about this book was the ending battle. Again, this book has been basically building up to the conflict between the anarchists and Ace against the Renegades for basically all 3 books, and we finally get to see the final battle come to fruition. And I think Marissa Meyer did a really good job at building up the hype and the suspense of the battle and giving us a bunch of shocking moments. Towards the end of the book, things get really crazy, and there are some really cool moments that I didn't even expect, but made the ending of this book really fun to read as like the final conflict of this entire series. There are those like typical end of series battle tropes, but again, there are a lot of really cool moments that Marissa Meyer foreshadows and are finally paid off in this book, and I really overall enjoyed the ending. I think it was a really good ending to the series. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything in case you guys want to read the book for yourself, but I really enjoyed the ending for this book otherwise. Third thing that really was cool about the ending of this book was a lot of things got answered. We got an answer on Phobia and his origin, which was really cool. We got an answer on how Adrian's mom died. We got an answer on why the bracelet for Nova was so important. It just was a very, again, satisfying ending that gave us a lot of answers and tied up a lot of loose ends pretty well. And overall, I really did enjoy the ending for this book and just how well it wrapped the series up in a pretty satisfying way overall. So jumping to the cons section, one of the big things that was handled not great in this book was how Nova's identity was revealed. The entire book series had been building up to the idea that the Renegades would at some point discover that Nova was Nightmare. In this book, we finally get it, but it's fumbled a bit because Nova is exposed as Nightmare, but then she figures out a way to get herself out of being accused as Nightmare with the help of another character. Again, I'm not going to spoil who that character is. She escapes them more or less scot-free for being Nightmare, and this was one of the things that bothered me about this book. It didn't really matter that Nova was set free from being Nightmare or not, because the ending of the book doesn't necessarily hinge on Nova being set free and cleared of being Nightmare, because that entire thing was basically irrelevant for the entire ending of the book. There were definitely a bunch of different ways that this book could have handled that would have ended up better. Like, I get why Marissa Meyer wanted to do that to build the suspense, but there are a bunch of other ways that really would have made the Nova reveal better and it not fumble quite as bad, at least in my opinion. Second thing that really bugged me about this book was how Adrian was written. Throughout the entire series, I really liked how Adrian was characterized. I think Marissa Meyer did a really good job with it for the most part, but for some reason, the way he's written just bugs me, and it has a lot to do with him being in denial about Nova being Nightmare. Once it really sets in that Nova is Nightmare and he learns the evidence that's against her, he basically goes into full denial mode. And I kind of get that. He and Nova are really into each other, but it drove me insane because there's so much evidence against her. Adrian isn't stupid. I get kind of why he had to be in denial, but it drove me crazy as it was so obvious that it was her. Adrian just drove me insane in this book because he was just blind through this entire book that it just drove me insane. And again, I really liked his character for the most part through the other two books, but it's just this book that doesn't sit right with me. Adrian almost feels off. Adrian in this book really doesn't work for me personally. I just don't like how much he's in denial of the evidence against Nova. Overall, I think this is the weakest Adrian has been written through the entire series. So, final thoughts on the book here. Overall, I think Supernova was a pretty good ending of the series. I think the ending fight was really satisfying. It gave us a lot of answers of things that had been brought up in the other books and finally have come full circle in this book. So I really like the ending as far as that aspect. And overall, the book in general is pretty good, aside from how the Nova reveal thing was handled and how Adrian was written. Those are just two really big things that definitely drag this book down for me, and I think if those two couple of things were handled a bit differently, I would have enjoyed this book more. But as is, book for the most part stuck the landing, but it stumbles slightly with those two things. But overall, I did enjoy the series. Again, as I said throughout those review videos, I really like the Young Justice TV show, and this sort of has the same feel to it. Highly recommend this to anyone who has really enjoyed Young Justice as a TV show. Check this out. I think I'm going to be giving Marissa Meyer's Supernova a 6. That is going to be it for this week. Don't forget, if you guys want to check out my social media, my Instagram, TikTok, Discord are all in book reviews. I will put links to everything in the description if you guys want to go and check those out. As always, in the comments, if you guys have read the Renegade series and have read the other books, feel free to comment your thoughts on books in the comments. Would love to discuss it, but please keep it spoiler-free for anyone who hasn't read the series and might want to read it later on. Down in the comments, if you guys have books you want me to do reviews on in the future, comment those down there and I'll check them out. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do not forget, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss a video. That is going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget, keep on reading.